baby. But like no matter how I arranged it, it just looked like his head was like one massive boob. And then if I had his head showing, it just looked like I was just showing a massive boob. So I was like, I just need to put it up close. But baby's sleeping on me, so I'm gonna try to film a few videos while he's napping. Anyways, today is going to be a cupped whisper. Oh, my eyeliner's weird. Okay, whatever. A cupped whisper. Every few months, I just sit here and whisper ramble. Some cupped, some not. While I look at my calendar and my husband joked, he goes, "You're totally doxing us, like telling them every single thing we do," but whatever. So, I will be just whisper rambling about what I've done since the last video I posted like this, which was mid-September. So I'll go from mid-September to like December, and then I can do another video in a few months about January. Alright, so I hope you enjoy. I also do tongue clicking and probably some finger flutters. Okay, so I left off in mid-September, and it was about to be my husband's birthday. So he had his birthday, that's it. We had celebrated, his birthday the week before by going to a comedy show and dinner, but, right. Yeah, I think that was his birthday celebration anyways, so we didn't do anything like go out to dinner, but that was just the two of us. So then on his birthday, we got breakfast out from a local breakfast place, like a drive-thru breakfast place, but we really like their food, so we got that for him for his birthday. It was a Thursday, so we didn't really do anything. And then the next day, the Friday, we went to his parents' house and they cooked him dinner, the dinner of his choice, and we got a cake. We got a nothing bundt cake, which was so good. I love them. Sorry, I'm so distracted by my eyeliner, but anyways, so that was his birthday. He kind of always gets chipped on his birthday. He doesn't really like to celebrate his birthday. I don't know why, because like I love celebrating anything, especially myself, so but he like doesn't like to make a big deal out of his birthday. So then the following week, I'm literally just like reading you my calendar, this is so funny. One of my nephews had a birthday. I had a midwife appointment. Oh, so then we switched my son's gymnastics class. So he had been doing like a boys gymnastics class, but it was later in the day, and it just, I think, was too late in the day to hold his attention or his energy. Like he would fall asleep on the way and then wake up cranky and didn't want to take the class and was like out of control crazy, just like a bad time of day for him. Like he does much better in the morning. So we switched him to a homeschool class instead, which was all ages, but it was in the morning, once a week and then quit. So we went to see Nate Bargatze. He's a comedian. So we went to see him in October and did like a whole date out of that. So that was really fun. That was my favorite. We see a lot of comedy shows. Just like where we used to live, no comedians would go to. My husband liked the comedians and I like them too. And I like the ones he likes, so it works out well. But where we used to live, comedians didn't really ever go there, like famous ones or ones that we liked. Now they do after we moved, but then the new area we moved to, there's like lots of options for like concerts and like comedians and stuff. It's a much bigger city, so that was exciting to be able to see him. So I loved his show. It was my favorite that I've ever been to. He might be my favorite comedian, especially like the older I get, like the funnier the jokes are, because they're so much more relatable, like talking about, I don't know, just like, I mean, he's a little bit older than me, but I feel like I was raised like as if it was 10 years earlier than it was. So like a lot of his jokes about his parents and stuff felt like very relatable. And especially like I was pregnant when I saw him, and for some reason, like when I'm pregnant, like laughter, like your emotions are more charged, and so like everything's funnier, everything's sadder, everything's happier, and so like comedy and like laughing, anything funny is like extra enjoyable, and like I never laugh as hard as I do when I'm pregnant, which is like such a good feeling, like such a huge like serotonin burst or release. So now we're in like mid-October. Like I said, I didn't have a very busy few months because I was like about to have a baby. So we kept it chill. Oh, I like holding the mic like this. I like it. So in the middle of the month, my husband went hunting. He went hunting a few hours away with his dad, and so they stayed in like a tent, and they were gone for like 3 days. So I took off work for that time, and he actually came home early, so I had taken off a few extra days, so we had a few days together, where I didn't have to work, because I could have said like, okay, I'm gonna come back to work because my husband's home early, but we decided like, no, I already took it off, I already scheduled like everything to be handled, so let's just like hang out together. So that was fun. So anyways, while he was hunting, I took off work. I actually filmed a day in my life with the kids, so I've posted that. I can link that. And then I went to a farm for like fall, like a pumpkin patch. I didn't buy any pumpkins, but I went to a pumpkin patch, and so the kids got to like play and stuff, so that was fun. My mother-in-law went with me and helped, since it was just me and the 2 kids. And then I should have this tipped up a little more. So then my husband got home earlier than he planned, which was fine. Basically, they gave us, like, they were like, okay, we'll be home, like, we'll be there a minimum of like 3 days and a max of 5. So we planned for 5, and he came back at 3. So the day after he got back, I just let him rest because it was very tiring. Like they like hiked a ton and like slept in a tent and stuff, and like backpacked basically through the mountains. So it was a pretty exhausting weekend for him. So I took the kids to a play date, actually with the mom whose baby shower I went to. She also has 3 kids, and so do I, and our kids are similar ages. She has 2 boys and then had a girl, whereas I had 3 boys. Our due dates were like 4 days apart or something like that, so that was kind of fun to be like pregnant at the same time together in like the same amount. She of course had her baby before me, because everyone has their babies before me. So I went on a play date at her house, and then we went shopping and stuff with the kids. I went shopping with the kids, excuse me, and then we came home. So it was kind of a chill day. And then the next day I had a a day job, and I could just spend every day like hanging out with my family. But it was like, it cost money because we went to brunch, and my husband's like, yeah, but like you wouldn't be going to brunch all the time if you were at home because that's expensive. And I was like, that's very true. So it was just one of those really fun, memorable days that went really well. We went to my midwife appointment, and then we went to brunch after. We went to brunch after, which was so fun. And then we went to a library to play. So the kids played at a library we had never been to before, and it was a bigger library than ours. So they had a lot of fun with that. And then I feel like we went shopping after that. Like we like did like a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, then we went to another indoor play place. So that was fun. I had never been there before, and it's actually a really cool place. I'm not gonna say what it is because I'll dogs where I live, but like it's a really cool indoor place. So like I haven't seen a place like it before, so that was really fun to get to see. And then I think we went home, but that was fun. It was like a very busy, long day, like out and about doing things all day, which is like my favorite thing. I don't like to be home. I like to be out and about and like activity hop and do tons of stuff. So that was like my perfect day. And then Halloween, my dad's birthday is on Halloween. So wow, there's a lot of stuff missing from my calendar. We went to a trunk or treat, at my church. So like we parked in the parking lot and handed out candy from our trunk, and then our kids, well, we just left a bowl out and left, but and then we walked our kids around, like dressed them up and walked them around. My 2-year-old was what was he? Oh yeah, because I wish I wrote everything I did on this calendar. The weekend before Halloween, like a week and a half before Halloween, I went out with my mother-in-law, just us, no kids, and so we did brunch, and then we went thrift shopping, and so we found some werewolf costumes, and the kids were both going to be werewolves, but at the last minute, my 5-year-old changed his mind and he wanted to be Batman, which is fine. He's Batman like every year, whatever. So he was Batman. The 2-year-old was a werewolf, and everyone was like obsessed with his costume because we made his hair all crazy messy. It was really cute. It was so cute. So then that's what we did for Halloween. We did not go trick-or-treating on the actual Halloween day. We actually got a snowstorm a few days before Halloween. But then by Halloween, I think it was mostly clear, but we don't live like in a neighborhood. We kind of do. We would not trick-or-treat in this neighborhood, so we just did the trunk or treat, and that was good enough. So in November was my due date month, so we kind of kept it really chill. I started to see a chiropractor, so I would go to a chiropractor once a week until I had the baby, and I do think it helped a lot. And I had lots of midwife appointments. We had a few birthdays. Oh, that we voted. There's like voting, obviously. Daylight savings. I like don't have anything on this that I like tracked. If we did anything, I don't think we did much. But we did have a few birthdays. My brother-in-law's birthday and both of my in-laws' birthdays are like in the first 10 days of November. So that was kind of interesting because my due date was November 12th. So we were like, well, if the baby comes early, then it might be on one of their birthdays. So we weren't sure what would happen, but sorry. He didn't come early. Like, we didn't expect him to come early anyway, so then my mom came into town a few days before my due date and stayed for 3 weeks to help. So she came into town. Again, I continued to go to the chiropractor once a week. I had my midwife appointments once a week. I had my due date come and go. Of did not want to go to 41 weeks because at 41 weeks they make you do all this stress testing, and we don't have insurance, so it was going to be really expensive, and I was like desperate, can you come? But I had to do all that with my second son, and he came 10 days late. So I'm glad that didn't happen. And then also, I could have had the baby on like Thanksgiving, which I did not want to do. So I was glad that he came when he came. So his birthday's November 17th. Alright, so then the baby was born. He was born at a birthing center, so we were only there for 4 hours, and then we came home. So we left our house at like 11:30, and then we came home. I got home at 5 a.m. So then we would go back for monitoring and like all the tests for the baby and stuff like that. So normally, like a lot of people will stay in the hospital 2 or 3 days, and during that time there's a bunch of testing that goes on for the baby. So instead of doing that there, we would like go drive to the appointment and then come home instead of staying there the whole time. So I had the appointment the day after he was born, and then 3 days after he was born I had a baptism prep class. Because we do infant baptism, and you have to take like a preparation class for it, and we were trying to have the baptism be in January, and so I was just like, whatever's the next baptism prep class I'll take, which was November 20th, and I said, you know what, either I'll bring the baby or I'll still be pregnant, but I just wanted to take it and get it out of the way. So it turned out that he was 3 days old for that, so we did that with him. And it is kind of crazy, like, I feel like for me, and I know a lot of other people say this, like with each child, my healing has been easier and easier, and then especially with a birthing center birth where you go home right away, like people are like, whoa, like he's 3 days old, I can't believe you're out. But like, I feel like they're also thinking like you just got home from the hospital, whereas I was already home for 3 days before he was 3 days old, so, or by the time he was 3 days old, so it's just like a much faster recovery, especially like if you don't get, like you're not getting an epidural, so like you literally walk minutes after the baby's born, like you walk around, not like walk around, but like I had him in a tub, so I had to like walk and get out, and then like a few hours later I was walking to my car to go home. It's just like a totally different experience than when I had the epidural. I like couldn't walk, I literally couldn't walk for like 2 days after my epidural. So it's just a totally different experience, and it's just not as like crazy to be doing stuff a few days after birth. Or maybe it's just because it was my third, I don't know. I then also opted to take a breastfeeding support class because, I don't know, like, it's never too late to do stuff like that. So he was feeding well, but it hurt, so I took it to maybe see if I could get a better latch. It helped a little bit, but I think honestly our problems were that he just needed time to learn. So I have always had pain during breastfeeding at the beginning. I don't know if there's a way around that. People will tell you, or like some experts will say, like, it just shouldn't ever hurt, but I just don't believe that. I think some people, it might not hurt, but like for me, my babies have to learn what they're doing, so it's gonna hurt because they're not good at it. So it doesn't hurt anymore. It took like 3 weeks maybe for it to stop hurting. So then we had Thanksgiving, so he was exactly a week old on Thanksgiving. My mom was here, so she made a dish. My husband made a dish. I ordered a bundt cake to get picked up. I'm like obsessed with the nothing bundt cakes, so any opportunity I have to be like, let's get that as our cake, that's what I do. So I didn't actually do much because I was a week postpartum, so I was very happy to use that as an excuse. So we went to my in-laws, had delicious Thanksgiving. They're like amazing cooks, so that was really fun. And then the day after Thanksgiving, we had another follow-up because he had like a week checkup. But obviously it was Thanksgiving, so they took us on the day after, which was kind of funny because their office was closed because it was a holiday, but they took a few appointments for the ones that were needed. So like, say if you had your baby on Thanksgiving, you needed to come back for some testing on the day after, so they just for the people who like absolutely needed appointments, and we I guess counted as one, because he needed a week appointment. So we went for that, but at first like the doors were locked, and I didn't even think of like looking for a doorbell, so we just left, and I was like, what do we do? And I called and left a message. I was like, hey, we were supposed to have an appointment today, but like the door's locked. And then we saw a couple and their baby come out, and we were like, wait, so they're definitely in there, but like all the lights are off. Like all the lights were off. So I thought for sure they weren't in there. And then I was like, wait a minute, and I looked, and there's like a Ring camera doorbell, and I was like, what an idiot. Like, why didn't I, sorry, he's waking up. Like, why didn't I ring it? I'm gonna try and just rock him, and hopefully he stays awake, or stays asleep, and lets me finish this video. So, anyways, after that, I've always wanted to do like a women's group or Bible study or something with my church, but a lot of that stuff is during the day, and I work during the day, so they had like an Advent, like leading up to Christmas Bible study that was only for 3 weeks, and was only in December, and I was like, oh, I'm on maternity leave during December, so that's perfect. So I signed up for that, and I went to 2 of them, and I didn't go to the 3rd because of weather, but that was cool. So I went to the women's Bible study in December, and just brought the baby with me. He was a hot topic, obviously. And then my mom left, so she left the last day of November to go home, obviously. Okay. So, December. Okay. So, let's see. I already told you that I went to a few Bible studies, and then, I had to get his birth certificate. So, in the state where my first 2 sons were born, they would just mail you the birth certificate and the social security card. But in this state, they mail you the social security card, but you have to go to your, like the county office to pick up in person the birth certificate, which is like a little frustrating because we live like 45 minutes from that office, and the appointment was literally like a minute long. I was like, oh my gosh. But I took my oldest son, and we made like a day of it. Well, and I took the baby. So we went to the office for the birth certificate, and then we went and saw, like, there was this cool kind of semi-kids, like, art sculpture nearby that we wanted to see, so I went and took him to see that and got his picture with it, and he thought it was kind of cool. That took like 3 seconds, but not literally like 10 minutes. And then we saw this cookie place, and we ate some cookies from them, and they are the best cookies I've ever had. Hands down. The end. And then, what did we do after that? I think we might have gone shopping after that or something. We just like did like a whole thing out. We were out for like half the day. And then the next day I had a doctor appointment for the baby. So the first month the midwives would do the checkups with the baby, and then after, or the first like 2 weeks, and then after that I like made him a patient at our family doctor. So I took him to get a checkup. So he was really like almost 3 weeks old at this point, but he was almost 3 weeks old at this point, but she counted it as like his 1 month checkup, so then we didn't schedule another one for like a month and a half, which is coming up next week. Anyways, so then my husband gets his hair cut at this place. It's just like a lady that works in like a, what do you call it, when like a bunch of artists, like it's kind of like a co-op space. Like she rents a room in like a salon where you rent rooms. So she's the only one in like for her business. talk to. Really fun to talk to. And then he and I went out for lunch after, so that was like a really fun date. I'm excited to do that again because it was a very enjoyable experience. The next day then, we did cookies with Santa. So we went and at a local neighborhood, which we're not members of this community, but I signed up online for it, even though it said it was for members, and like they have my address on file. The system knows I am not a member, but it still let me sign up. So I don't know if we were supposed to do that, but we did it, and it was a great experience. They did it so well. There was like face painting, you could decorate cookies, you could do a craft, there was painting, and then you could meet Santa and get a picture with him. So that all three boys got a picture with him. And they had like bouncy houses outside and stuff. Like, it was really well done. Food trucks. And we didn't have to wait that long for the picture, so I was very happy with it, and we will do it again next year if we can. And then we just had a really pretty chill December because we had a newborn, so we didn't do anything too wild. And like the holidays, we did go do a drive-through live nativity. So basically they just like, there was a building with huge glass windows, and they set up like a live nativity in there. So they had like a real Mary and Joseph and a real newborn baby, and they had real animals. Like they had a camel, and they had donkeys, and they had whatever. They had all sorts of animals, like real animals outside also. So you would just like drive through it to see it. It was really cool. It was kind of a long drive for like a quick drive by. So what we did is we went early and went to a museum first that was near it, that the kids love. So we went to a museum first, then we did the drive-by nativity scene, and then we went out to dinner. And we did this with my in-laws, so it was really fun. Like I said, it was kind of a pretty far drive to get to that place, so we tried to like make a whole thing of it. So that was like the first like long big outing with the baby, like far-ish drive. That's the furthest he's driven, so, but he's about to go next month on like a 3-hour drive, so we'll see how that goes. Then it was Christmas. We have two birthdays in December. My niece's, and then my mom's birthday is on New Year's Eve. So both of my parents have holiday birthdays. But anyways, and then so for Christmas, let me talk about Christmas first. So for Christmas Eve, we hosted, and we made like steak and potatoes. I made a bunch of appetizers. We had like champagne and wine, which is my favorite thing. I was gonna do like a nativity scene where we like not literally acted out, like you act out with figurines, because that was a childhood tradition of mine. But I just didn't like end up planning it. And then Christmas morning, I just had some casseroles that I threw in the oven that I made the day before. So like breakfast was super easy. We had, obviously the kids opened presents. We all opened presents by ourselves, like just our family. And then later in the day, we went over to my in-laws and did dinner there and opened presents there. So that was really fun. Pretty chill. I would say it was a pretty chill Christmas. It felt busy, like, because I'm a mom and like you make Christmas. But other than that, like it was a pretty kind of relaxed. It was a lot harder to prepare for Christmas with a newborn than I expected it to be. I'm not sure why. I think because he wants held all the time, and so when I'm trying to like cook and clean and wrap presents and do all this stuff, it's hard to do that when you're holding a baby all the time, even in a carrier. Like, you can't just do anything you want with this. Like, you still have to be careful and stuff. So that was a little stressful. But we made it and it was fine. So I'm glad I was off work for it, so that was nice. And then I had my 6-week appointment on December 30th. So yeah, I was like cleared for everything. They were like, okay, you're healing pretty well. So like you can exercise, all that fun stuff. So it was a good appointment. And when the appointment was over, she joked, she's like, okay, well, this is your last appointment, so, you know, I guess we'll see you the next time you have a positive pregnancy test. I was like, whoa, what? I'm just kidding. She was kind of kidding around, but it was just funny that she said that, because it was, I don't know, I thought it was cute. And then New Year's Eve. So on New Year's Eve, we went over to my in-laws for dinner, and then we could kind of see some fireworks from our house, and went to bed. So what's really nice about where we live now is we live in Mountain Time Zone. So like the New York City ball drops at midnight East Coast, but at 10 p.m. So we were able to watch the ball drop at 10, celebrate, and then go to bed early, which was very nice. I'm like not interested in staying up till midnight. So I thought that was really fun. I like that aspect. It's kind of weird. I feel like people, I don't know, maybe, I don't know that many people here, but it just seems like New Year's Eve isn't like it's as big of a deal as it was where I used to live on the East Coast, because I feel like New Year's Eve is kind of centered around East Coast time zone because of New York City, and so it was like kind of a big deal. Like you always stayed up till, not always, but like we always stayed up till midnight. We would watch the ball drop,